press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, today I am going to start with the summary of the chapter Getting to Know Plants. See, this is the diagram of a plant. Plants are the green friends and it provides a lot of things like fruits, vegetables, pulses, different types of cotton, perfume, flower, etc. These are the uses of the plants. And not only beside these uses of the plant, plants also give out by purify the air and releasing the oxygen to the atmosphere and thereby absorb the carbon dioxide. See, this is the diagram of a plant where the plant is divided into two parts. One is the shoot system and another one is the root system. Shoot system is usually present above the soil, whereas the root system which is present under the soil, and it helps to hold the plant firmly to the ground. And next one is the shoot system. See, based on the shoot system, the plants is divided into three parts based on the stem modification. First one is the herb, shrub as well as the trees. In which first one is the herb. Herbs are small tender stem and these are the very tender and thin they are. Example for the herbs are mint and spinach. These are the example for the herbs which is having the tender stem and which having scent and characteristic feature which helps to for preparing the spices and for making the medicines also. These herbs are useful. Next one is the shrubs. See, shrubs are medium sized plant which provides the plant in a fixed direction, and these shrubs of varieties of shrubs will be present in the surrounding or in the environment. These shrubs appear as a bushy in appearance because the leaves is present at the stem. And example for the shrubs are lemon and hibiscus. These are the example for the stem shoot system, in which shrubs are the example for the shoot system. Next one is the trees. See, trees are the long thick stem and having the, and that's why it is called as a trunk. The stem is modified into the long thick structure, and these are the example for the trees. Next one is climbers and creepers. Beside these plants, that is herbs, shrubs and the trees, based on the characteristic property of a stem, these stem can be divided into two more types. One is the creepers and as well as the climbers. See, creepers are the thin, long, elongated structure, and these creepers will not stand upright. It takes the support of the neighboring plant. And example for those creepers are, it spread out throughout the ground, and these are the example for the creepers, in which money plant is a example. And one more is the watermelon. These are the creeper plants where it creeps the ground so that it will not stand upright position. Next one is the climbers. See, climbers are those plants which can't stand upright. It takes the support of the neighboring plant. Whereas the creepers are those plants, these are the thin stem and elongated and tender stem will be present. It spread out throughout the surface of the ground. And creepers are those climbers are those plants which take the support of the neighboring plant, and it will not stand upright. It readily support to the neighboring plant. Example of these climbers are bitter gourd. These are the example, bitter gourd, and this one is the example of the climbers. Next one is the functions of the stem. See, functions of the stem, it will help to conduct the water and mineral from the roots and circulate throughout the plant body. Next one is stem conduct the food from the leaves as a storage organs. It will provide the food from the leaves, different types of leaves and different parts of a plant. It will conduct and circulate throughout the plant. Next one is stems are modified to perform the special functions like the storage. Example for the storage organs are garlic, ginger and the turmeric. These are few examples for the storage organ which acts as a stem storage organ, and these are modified structure, that is stem. And not only these functions, beside this photosynthesis is also there. See, usually we see photosynthesis in leaf, but the green color stem will also readily exit the process of photosynthesis. In green stem is having the process known as photosynthesis also. See, this is the functions of the stem. See, one by one I will tell you. Stem will conduct the water as well as the mineral from the soil. It will conduct, means it will carry out the water and mineral from the soil. Usually soil contains water as well as the minerals, and thereby roots will conduct and it is circulate throughout the plant body through the stem. This is the first function. Next one is the stem conducts food from the leaves as a storage organ. Leaves prepared food and it is circulate throughout the plant, and thereby the stem will conduct the food and circulate throughout the plant. And this is another function. And next function is the stem acts as a storage organ which stores the food items. Like example for the stem which acts as a storage organs are beetroot, radish, turnip. These are few examples of the storage organ of a stem. Next we shall move on to the leaf. See, usually leaf is also called as kitchen factory of the plant, where the food preparing process will be takes place. And we see in our environment there are varieties of leaf plants and having the varieties of leaf, and which differ from one another, and these leaves either may be green in color, brown in color or in yellow in color, which later it will fall on the ground. See, this is how there are different types of varieties of a leaf which is having the different colors. See, next one is the parts of a leaf. See, as I told you, in human beings how the different parts will be located, in the same manner the leaf parts will be also varied. See, this is the parts of a leaf where we see the different parts. At the apex or the tip of the leaf we call it as a apex, and there is one main vein which is arising at the middle of the leaf is called as midrib, where this is the thick vein and this is called as midrib. And next one is the veins. Veins are the small lines or the thin lines which is present attached to the midrib and circulates throughout the leaf. These are called as veins. And next one is the stalk of the leaf which is attached to the stem is called as petiole, and the broader part of the leaf are called as lamina. See, this is how this is how the leaf can be divided into different parts. See, as I told you, in leaf there is a varieties of veins will arising which is attached to the midrib, and these veins, arrangement of these veins in a particular leaf are called as venation. See, leaf venation. There are different types of venations are there. First one is the reticulate venation and another one is the parallel venation. Reticulate venation are those venation which forms the network in the leaf are called as reticulate venation, and the parallel venation are those venation which is parallel to each other, which runs the veins in a parallel position, and these are called as parallel venation. See, this is the types of venation. Venation means nothing but the arrangement of the veins in a leaf is called as venation. See, parallel venation is also there, and the reticulate venation. See, reticulate venation forms the network or web-like structure will be present in the leaf or called as reticulate venation, and the parallel venation are those venation which the veins will be runs parallel to each other in a leaf is called as parallel venation. Next one is the functions of the leaf. The most important functions of the leaf is the photosynthesis. As the name only indicates, photo means light and the synthesis means to prepare. See here, the plants will prepare the food by taking the simple substance like carbon dioxide as well as the water which is present in the atmosphere. By taking these simple substance, plants will prepare the food like starch as well as the oxygen which is released to the atmosphere by using the sunlight, which is ultimate source of the energy, and the chlorophyll pigment. Usually this chlorophyll pigment is present in the leaf, and where the green part present in the plant, thereby the photosynthesis will be takes place in such parts. Where the green color part will be appear, then the photosynthesis will be takes place, and this is the first function of the leaf. See, photosynthesis is nothing but the process of food preparing process, where the plants use simple substance like carbon dioxide as well as the water. By using these simple substance in the presence of sunlight, which is the ultimate source of energy, which provides light energy as well as the heat energy, in the presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll pigment which is present in the leaf, where green part of a leaf or the plant will green part of a plant, these photosynthesis will be takes place by releasing into the oxygen to the atmosphere, and the starch is nothing but the glucose is a product of a photosynthesis. This is how the photosynthesis will be takes place. It is one of the function of the leaf. Next we shall move on to the transpiration process. Transpiration process is nothing but the amount of water vapor which is present in the release to the atmosphere, or the water comes out from the leaf in this process as a water vapor. This is called the transpiration process. See, look at this leaf, where the leaf will, in the leaf the water is comes out in the form of a water droplets or water vapor. See, this is how there is one activity is there which we previously we did in the classroom, or the study or learn in the classroom, and this is the potted plant, where we have to tie a polythene bag into the leaf. After a few hours we can see the inner side of the plastic or the polythene bag contains the droplets, and how these droplets will become, these droplets will become from the leaf or the part of a plant, and this is how transpiration is another function of a leaf. First one is the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is nothing but the food preparing process, where plants use a simple substance like carbon dioxide as well as the water in the presence of sunlight and the chlorophyll pigment. Usually it is present in the leaf, and which provides starch as a food, and oxygen which is liberated to the atmosphere, and this is the first and the most important function of the leaf. Next one is the transpiration. The water vapor which is comes out from the leaf in the form of a water vapor is called as transpiration. Water comes out from the leaf in the form of a water vapor is called as transpiration process. Next one is the flowers. See, we see varieties of flowers in the atmosphere, in the plants also. See, based on the plants, different varieties of flowers will be present, and these flowers varieties having shapes and the colors. Some of them are brown in color, some of them are red in color, some of them are blue in color, like that different varieties of flowers which is having the different colors. See, and these flowers are the reproductive part of the plant. See, reproductive part means nothing but where the reproduction takes place. Reproduction is nothing but the producing of offspring or the baby plant is called as reproduction. See, flower is the reproductive part of a plant. In the flower, as I told you, the leaf is divided into different parts. In the same way, the flower is also divided into different parts. First one is the pistil, stigma, petals, sepal, and the stalk of the leaf, that is petiole. See, this is how the parts will be divided, and one by one we will discuss now. First one is the sepal. Sepal is usually present at the base of a flower, which helps the flower in a bud condition, which provides support to the flower in the bud condition, and also it provides the strength to the extra support to the flower during the bud condition, and at the flowering stage also it will forms the support to the flower, and it is leaf like structure. That one is called as sepal. Next one is the petals. See, petals are the bright in color which attracts the insects, human beings, animals, and usually the honeybee like insects will be visit to each flower and suck the nectar from the flower. Nectar is nothing but the sweet juice, nectar from the flower, and collects into the to form a honey. Like honeybee is the example for those collecting the nectar from the flower. And beside these honeybee, there are many varieties of insects will be there which sucks the nectar from the flower, and it will store, and later it will feed the nectar. See, this is the petals. Next one is the pistil and the stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower, where stamen is divided into two parts, anther and the filament. Anther is the sac-like structure which is present above the filament, and a longitudinal structure which is present in the flower is called as filament. This is how stamens is divided into two parts. One is the filament as well as the anther. Next one is the pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower. See, in the flower there are two main parts will be there, and these two parts will be helpful for reproductive process, like the stamen as well as the pistil. See, stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower, whereas the pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower. And the pistil is divided into three types. One is the stigma style as well as the ovary. Stigma is present above the pistil, and the style is a middle part of a pistil where elongated structure will be present, and beneath this style ovary will be present. In the ovary, ovules will be present. Later, during the formation of the fruit, the ovary is develop into the fruit, as the ovules will develop into the seeds. See, this is how the different parts of a flower will be divided, and these parts having some functions. Next one is the pistil. See, pistil, as I told you, it is a female reproductive part of a flower, and these pistil, if we cut into longitudinal way, the structure will be like that, and the transverse section of the leaf will be this one. See, this is how the pistil will be divided, and if we cut the pistil into longitudinal way, we can see the arrangement of the ovules in the ovary, and different parts of the pistil will be seen. We can easily see, and the transverse section we also see the ovules, arrangement of the ovules in the ovary, and these ovules which helps to develop later when the flowering stage, when the formation of the fruit, these ovules will be growth into the seeds, whereas the ovules where the ovary is developed into the fruit. See, this is how ovules is developed into the seed and the ovary is developed into the fruit. This is how we can say that in the fruits the ovule is developed into the fruit, as well as the ovary is divided into the fruit, and the ovules is modified into the seed. Next we shall move on to the pollination. See, as I told you, pollination is nothing but transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma. Pollens means the yellow powdery substance which is present in the stamen, which is transported to the pistil, and thereby fertilization will be takes place, or the reproduction will be takes place, where the male and the female gametes will be fuses to form the seeds and the fruit. See, either the pollination will be takes place from the animals, humans, different types of birds, and varieties. These are the example of the pollination, where honeybee transfer the pollen grains from one flower to the another flower is called as pollination. Pollination is nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma is called as pollination. Next we shall move on to the root system. See, usually the part of a plant which is present under the soil is called as root, and these roots are of two types. One is the taproot and another one is the fibrous root. Taproot having the elongated structure which goes deep into the soil and which firmly fixed into the soil, and these elongated structure of the root is called as main root, and having beside these main root there is a small lateral roots are present which is attached to the main root, and this is how the taproot is divided into two parts. One is the main part and the small network like structure which is attached to the root is called as lateral root. Main root and the lateral roots are divided. This one is the taproot, and next one is the fibrous root. See, fibrous root are those roots which is having thin in structure, and usually these roots is arising at the base of the stem. At the base of the stem these roots are arising, and these roots which firmly fixed to the ground, and this is how the roots is divided into two parts, two main parts. One is the taproot and another one is the fibrous root. See, taproot is having elongated structure which is goes deep into the soil, and these taproot contains the sideways direction. There is a lateral roots will be present, and next one is the fibrous root. Fibrous roots are those roots which are thin in structure, almost all equal in size, and which arises at the base of the stem. These are the fibrous root. Next one is the functions of the roots. The main function of the roots are absorption of water and mineral from the soil. See, usually the roots function is to absorb the water as well as the mineral from the soil and circulates through the plant body. And next one is it conduction of water and the solute particles which is present in the plant, it will helpful. And some of the roots which acts as a storage organ like beetroot, carrot, turnip, etc. These are few examples of the roots which stores the food. Next one is it anchor the plant to the soil. It supply varieties of water as well as the mineral from the soil and throughout the plant. See, this is how the functions of the roots will be takes place. See, once again I will tell you. See, this is the plant diagram where the plant is divided into two main parts. One is the shoot system, another one is the root system. Shoot system which is present above the soil as well as the root system which is present under the soil, and it helpful for fixing the plant in a particular direction or the upright position. It will fix us to the plant. And this shoot system which is usually present at the above the soil and which bears fruits, flowers, branches, leaf, stem, etc. This is how the plant is divided into two main parts. One is the shoot system and another one is the root system. Next one is the shoot system. According to the shoot system, the stem is divided into three main parts. One is the herb, shrubs as well as the trees. Herbs are those tender stem. Herbs is having the tender stem and these are thin and elongated in structure. Example for the stems are herbs are mint, spinach and basil. These are few examples of the herbs. Next one is the shrubs. Shrubs are the medium sized plant where the branching will be appear at the base of the stem, and these stems having bushy in appearance, and that's why usually these medium sized plant we can see in our surrounding, and herbs also having we can see in our surrounding. These herbs is having the characteristic feature that one is it scent and also it provide the smell, and that's why usually these herbs are helpful for making the medicine and for preparing the food items like spices. See, this is how the one characteristic feature of the herb. Next one is the trees. Trees are large in size and elongated structure. The stem of these trees are called as trunk, and it is the branching will appear at the uppermost part of a stem. Beside these shoot system, that is herb, shrubs and trees, there are some other stems will be there, and that one is a creepers as well as the climbers. Creepers are those plants which are thin in structure and elongated, and tender stem will be present. These will creeps the ground, or it will spread out throughout the ground, and example for the creepers are watermelon, money plant, watermelon, example for the creepers are bitter gourd, etc. Next one is the climbers. Climbers are those plants which are thin in structure and elongated in structure, and these usually help to readily climb up by taking the support of the neighboring plant. These are the example for the climbers. Beside these examples, money plant is also there, which is a climbers. Next one is the functions of the stem. See, first function is stem is a storage organ which which stores the food items, like acts as a storage organ, and this stores the food like turnip, radish, carrot. These are the stem is modified to perform the special functions like the storage. It will store the food items, and beside this, the stem will also helpful for carry out the photosynthesis process. The part of a plant where green color will be present, and some plants which is having the green stem, thereby the photosynthesis process is carried out in such plants. And next one is the stem will conduct the water as well as the mineral. See, from the root, the stem will conduct the water as well as the mineral from the root and circulate throughout the plant body. Next one is stem conducts the food from the leaves. Usually leaf is considered as kitchen factory of the plant, and thereby the food is transported to the stem, and thereby different parts of the plant will be transported. Next one is the leaf. See, we see varieties of leaf, and these leaves can be different in shape and different in color. The parts of a leaves are sepal, apex, veins, midrib, lamina as well as a petiole. See, these are the different parts of a leaf. Apex is present at the ending portion or the tip portion, it is present, and lamina is the broader green color part of a leaf is called as lamina, and the midrib, see the middle vein which is thick in structure, and these arising from the base of the leaf and ends at the apex of the leaf, and this is called as midrib, and this midrib is attached to the small thin veins which is called as veins, and these veins are of different types. Based on the location or the arrangement of the veins are divided into two parts. One is the parallel venation and another one is the reticulate venation. The stalk of the leaf is called as petiole. See, leaf venation. In the leaf, the arrangement of the veins is varies from one leaf to the another leaf. Most of the leaf is having the reticulate venation. See, this is the reticulate venation where the network of the leaf will be present. And types of venation. Venation is nothing but the arrangement of leaf in a arrangement of veins in a leaf is called as venation. Here is the parallel venation where the veins runs parallel to each other are called as parallel venation. This is the example for the banana plant or banana leaf where we can see the parallel venation, and the reticulate venation where hibiscus plant is one of the example of a reticulate venation where the veins forms a network is called as reticulate venation. The functions of the leaf is the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means food preparing process by using the carbon dioxide and the water which is present in the atmosphere, and thereby sunlight and the chlorophyll pigment. By utilizing these simple substances, plant will prepare the food like starch and release the oxygen to the atmosphere, and this is the definition of the photosynthesis. See, this is the definition of the photosynthesis, and you can see the in diagram photosynthesis how this takes place. Next one is the transpiration process. Water vapor, the process where water vapors comes out from the leaf in the form of a water vapor. Water comes out of from the leaf in the form of a water vapor is called as transpiration, and see, we can see the water comes out from the leaf now. Next one is the flowers. We see different varieties of flowers, and it is one of the important function of the flower is the reproduction, where the reproduction means production of the offspring or the baby plant. And see the leaf, how they divided into different parts. In the same way, flower is also divided into different parts: pistil, stamen, petal and the sepal. These are the different parts of a flower. Sepal is the leaf-like structure which is present at the base of the flower, which helps to provide the support to the flower during the bud condition, and also it provides the extra strength to the flower after maturing the flower, and this is the function of the sepal. Next one is the petal. See, petal usually bright in color, which helps to attract the insects, and even human beings and animals also attract this flower, where honeybee or the different types of insects visit each flowers and sucks the nectar from the flower, and which is used by these insects as a food. And some insects will store the nectar in a comb like structure called as a honeycomb. Usually the honeybee will construct the honeycomb, and these nectar store into the honey. See, pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower, where this is the longitudinal structure of a pistil, and the transverse section of the leaf, transverse section of the pistil, where we can see the arrangement of ovules in the ovary. When after maturing the ovules is converted into the seed, and the ovary which is present in the pistil is converted into the fruit. See, this is how pistil is the female reproductive part, and this part is divided into three parts. One is the stigma, pollen tube and the ovary. Stigma is present at the base of the topmost part of the pistil, and the filament is middle part, and the ovary, a dome shaped structure which is present in the pistil, is called as ovary. See, this is how pistil is divided. And the stamen, as I told you, stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower, which helps, it is a reproductive organ of a flower which helps in the reproductive process. And this stamen is divided into anther, which is present, a sac like structure which is present at the uppermost part of a filament is called as anther, and the longitudinal structure which is present in the flower is called as filament. See, this is how stamen is divided into two parts, and the pistil is divided into different parts, and longitudinal structure as well as a transverse section we can see now. Next one is the pollination. Pollination is nothing but transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of a flower is called as pollination. See, after pollination, the flower is matured, and ovules is get converted into the seed, and the ovaries get converted into the fruit. See, pollination usually takes place when the favorable condition is available, and these pollen grains is transported. See, pollen grains is nothing but the yellow powdery mass or the powdery substance which is present in the stamen, and this is carried out by either by insects, human beings, or by wind, like the different agents will be there, where pollen grains is transported to the one flower to the another flower, thereby carry out the process known as pollination. Next one is the root system. See, root system is divided into two roots. Roots are divided into two parts. That one is the taproot and another one is the fibrous root. Taproot is having the main root which elongated and goes deep into the soil, and it will firmly fixed into the soil, and this main root having the branches like structure called as lateral roots, which is attached to the main root, and this is the example for the taproot. Example for the taproots are turnip, carrot, etc. These are the having the main root, and beside this main root there is a lateral roots will be present. And next one is the fibrous root. Fibrous root are those root which is almost all equal in size, and usually these roots are rising from the base of the plant. This is called the fibrous root. Next one is the functions of the root. See, the main functions of the root is it absorbs the water and mineral from the soil, and thereby it is transported to the all parts of the plant. Next one is it conducts the water and mineral from the soil, and it will transport it to the plant's body. And next one is the storage. Storage is it will store the food items like turnip, carrot, etc. Roots will be store the food items, and this is one of the functions. And anchoring of the plant, it will circulate the various types of water minerals and the solute particles from the roots to the all parts of the plant. This is all about the summary of the chapter Getting to Know Plants. Thank you.